We have one more fantastic act. You've been such a delight. Bring the love for one final time. Let's get it going. Welcome to the stage, the wonderful Chris Stone!
All right, I'm Chris. I'm not a hipster, this is just hiding my shit chin. I come from a poor working class family. I grew up on a council estate. I know it doesn't sound like it. I think it's a miracle I made it to adulthood. Not because of knife crime, drugs, or poisonous turkey Twizzlers, but even from a young age, I'd look at my family and think, these people are fucking idiots. I'll give you an example. My sister was explaining Game of Thrones to my mum a couple of years ago. Spoiler alert if you've not seen it. She said there's these rival families, they're all vying for power. There's a baddie woman, she has sex with her brother, and my mum genuinely went, that's incense. Or there's a time I was a teenager, I'd just had my tea, started running myself a bath, and how to treat myself. She comes running in, she's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? I thought she'd rumbled me, trying to bypass the bath queue. If your family was anything like mine growing up, we shared bath water. But in a strict order, and as the youngest, I always had to go last. By the time it got to my turn, you couldn't even see the bottom. I'd get out dirtier than I got in. I'd been better off washing in a ditch. But it is how I first learnt about pubes. I got out of the bath one day. I've grown a chest hair. I've got a chest hair. Hold on. But it wasn't that. She says, no, you can't have a bath until 2 hours after you've eaten. I was like, you're thinking of swimming. What do you think I'm going to be doing in the bath? Practicing my breaststroke? I mean, I was a teenage boy, so I was definitely stroking something in there, but she doesn't need to know about it. Anyway, it dawned on me, how long has she been going around thinking, if you eat, you can't get wet for 2 hours like some kind of shit gremlins? And then there was my dad. We're having some work done on our house as part of the council's turd polishing initiative, I think it was. So I asked him, how's it going? He went, I really needed a shit. I was more concerned about the workmanship than your arse, but go on, what happened? He was like, whoa, I really needed a shit, but I didn't want to make a smell with the workmen being here. So his solution to this, if you can call it that, was to have a shit in a bucket in the garden. And I was like, so you were self-conscious about someone smelling you'd had a shit, but not someone see you have a shit? So God knows what our neighbours must have thought, twitching at the curtains, going, didn't we lend him that bucket? And I said to her, I said, how are you supposed to bring me up when I don't even think you're toilet trained? And I asked him, I said, please tell me you threw the bucket away. You've washed the car with it, you dirty bastard. And I grew up with my sister, and one day we'd been left on our own, and we were too small to be left on our own, but we were big enough to know that it was wrong. So we hatched a plan that one of us was going to dress up and pretend to be a babysitter. Now, I don't know how she did this, but I ended up dressed as an old woman, walking stick and all, pretending to be a babysitter. But we'd not thought it through to the point of what we would do if somebody actually knocked at the door. I'm an old woman, I'm not going to run to the door, am I? Never heard of method acting? Hello? Jesus. Chris, is your dad in? I'd just have to front it out, wouldn't I? I'd be like, look, mate, I'm dressed as a woman. Clearly, he's not in. And what are you acting so weird for anyway? Do you want me to tell him you popped round? I'd be like, no, just pass on my condolences. Well, what for? He'll figure it out eventually, don't worry. And my sister had real older sibling energy. If anybody's got any older siblings, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When I was 6, my older sister told me I was adopted. I know, what a bitch. So I said, "You're telling me these aren't my real mum and dad?" She's like, "No." And I said, "Oh, thank fuck for that." But what I found is when you're poor, people assume you're a bit thick. And at my high school, we had these careers days where you think of a job you might want to do, they invite some industry bods in, and you have a bit of a mock interview. It sounds extravagant, it was just an excuse for the teachers to have an easy day. As soon as I walked into mine, the guy went, "You only go with your hands." I thought, where's this going? Because Red Boy isn't really a career prospect, is it? And he said, "Sack all this off, go and do something with your hands." And I'm thinking, again, I'm a teenage boy, I don't need any encouragement in that area. So you might be wondering, what grandiose, pie in the sky, lofty dream job did I go in there with? Was it doctor? Astronaut? It was dog handler. I wanted to be a dog handler. And this guy said, "Forget that, son, they'll run rings round you," which is actually quite an advanced trick. And his faith in me was so low that he didn't even think a dog would respect me enough to take instruction from me. Like, what did he think would happen? I'd end up wearing the lead somehow? Like, don't ask me how he did it, he outsmarted me. So, did I take his advice? Get an apprenticeship? Go straight into work and learn a trade? No. I went to uni and fucked about for 4 years. And now look at me. The only thing I've ever built is massive debt and this beard. I'm Chris Stone. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for coming out.
Chris